This spoken word is titled, What Was Once Our Shame. Being sensitive is not a curse, but it can sure feel like it. For every tear, for every tear, for every random rock that cracks our windshield, for every impossible knot, for every indomitable doubt, for every ghosted message, for every time we feel bested, for everything we can't understand. We take it as a personal assault to our identity. If we only knew what our identity was, if our ADHD hadn't scared it away. We see every imperfection and convince ourselves they stem from the impure intentions of others, not our own, giving us cause for hesitation from giving others the adulation they deserve. Perfectionism robs us. It robs us of being human, replete with critical mistakes that initially terrify us, but eventually lead us to a savior, if we dare ask why we were born into this broken world. His adversary, our adversary, from the moment we learn to smile with our eyes and bundle sounds together, whispered vile words vibrating at low frequency into our tiny con-shaped ears. Then the bastard changed tactics, dangling perfectionism in front of our famished faces, making sure we never taste it. In his talons, our sensitivity not only keeps a ledger of everything that goes wrong, but also everything that doesn't go right. Every time we get sick and don't feel good, every time our plane gets delayed and we miss our connecting flight, every time our car won't start and we rain blows onto our unsuspecting steering wheel, every time we lose our grip and drop something, and every time we lack the motivation to pick it up. To this we think God has been dethroned, and Thanos' gauntlet with all 6 infinity stones belongs in the hand of the God of this world, who in reality is running out of time and excuses, which is why he sinisterly seduces those who feel behind and lack confidence. Oh, what betrayal, when our devil-may-care disposition inhaled its first stench of playful hazing in the same sandbox that promises justice but only feigns to placate our pain. It started when we were young. Before we learned the labels that separate us, we cried not knowing we were trying to make sense of our first encounter with unkindness. To those of us who don't even know we're battling rejection sensitivity, we feel everything. Thoughts that should have never existed, going back to the covetousness of Cain, going back further to the covetousness of an insecure angel who winks back at the satanic council every time he dupes a suffering disciple to empathize with his plight. Why is it that the paucity of possessing something prized is worth hating over and killing over, and then when we finally attain it, the wanting is over? Even luck-dependent superstition like a 4-leaf clover can invoke jealousy to the extreme, to the point of selling our souls over, as can a song lyric or accolade attached to our name. There's nowhere to hide when the Kraken comes to you in your bed, unless you trade Perseus your lead boots for his winged sandals. Perseus, who broke the chains of Andromeda, has always been a Christ type. Look to the heavens and you'll see him carrying away a severed head. The Greeks thought it was the head of Medusa, being ignorant that its Hebrew root meant the trodden underfoot. It's also called Rosh Satan, the head of the adversary, the foreshadowing of humanity when it kowtows to satanic logic. What is it with demons who promise power and prestige as long as you sacrifice something or someone to them, but they themselves won't shed a drop of their own blood to fulfill your true purpose? I know someone who was cursed for our sake and never asked us to put a knife to our throat to bleed out like bleeding sheep, but let himself be carved and punched and pierced and lanced so we don't have to. The devil befriended us when we were too young to know he was using us for his reconnaissance. The bastard first stole our innocence and then compounded our confusion by drawing us to the darkness and addictions he invented while calling God an impotent lover. Opposed to the whims of culture, we're not what we feel. We might feel cursed, but that doesn't mean we are. It's the difference between pathology and ontology. But what if I'm drawn to the dark, you ask? A tested sage once said, you can't navigate through the dark with more dark thinking. The light to your navigation system is blinking red. It needs a reboot. My advice, Study the nature of beauty and how its distortion can be bent back into submission. In a world saturated in sin, instead of seeing beauty in the ordinary, we reshape it to make sense of our wounds. Oh, and then there's gratuitous beauty. Oh, the beauty that science can't explain, and unless it veers out of its empirical lane like a driver who thinks he knows the road but has never driven before, arrogantly but ignorantly invoking a metaphysical claim. A bit more friendly counsel: when gratuitous beauty comes knocking, let it in. With its explosion of light and life-giving nectar that transcends mere utility. Let it entice you, teach you, convict you, and convert you. Suffering doesn't mean God has left you. It means he wants to empower you. That is, he trusts you with more power to allow suffering to mentor you so you can overcome anything that threatens your identity. So the next time the enemy tells you you're cursed, tell him your sensitivity is no longer a source for his amusement. And now that you're on your way to being restored, don't be conformed to the ways of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Rewire your brain not to think the same as before. Discontinue the old pattern of treating your gift of sensitivity as your secret shame. For anything that's exposed to the light, even if we have a mustard seed of faith, will be transformed, and what was once our shame will be our salvation. A salvation that will inspire others to do the same.